If you're thinking of jumping in on an old school classic Final Fantasy XI experience, here are 5 tips that I think everybody should know going in. Now, keep in mind, these are geared towards brand new players that have never played Final Fantasy XI before. But if it's been a long time since you've maybe tested the waters, I think there's some gems in here for you too. Just so we're clear, private servers are not officially recognized or supported by Square Enix. If you're watching this, I'm assuming Square Enix has finally released an official version of a mid-2000s version of Final Fantasy XI. Of course, private server players would also benefit from the knowledge we're sharing here. Let's just jump into it. I may be glancing off screen a lot. I've got a lot of notes. I don't want to miss anything. Number 1, the job, city, race, power combo. The only benefit from directly tying your race to your city is the starting ring. You won't get a starting ring if you do that correctly. That gives some small stat bonuses early on in the game. There's no particular benefit to being any job in one particular city. They all offer spell shops, weapons, and equipment vendors. Don't think about it too hard. It's not to say there aren't cool rewards that are unique to the city in terms of like drops from enemies in surrounding areas and just general leveling style of particular mobs that are around. But you could spend a lifetime researching and analyzing what the perfect combination is. I mean, just hop in and have fun. Chances are you're going to change your job anyway. But the more important thing, having a starting ring for your city is a useful, nice little benefit. It is not critical. One of my best friends from this game, Epic, he totally swapped his whole situation. Started as an Elvon and Bastok, had a great time. Had to force his way into getting that ring with conquest points, and I think it's like a great story now that he totally loves to share. Just go with what you like most. It's more important that you enjoy the aesthetic and the starting experience than it is that you have a silly ring. If you're curious, we did do 2 videos on best starting city and best starting job, which accidentally kind of have some useful info in them, although they're mostly just in jest. Check them out if you haven't already. I'll link them in the description below and add cards up on the top. Number 2, your first 10 levels. Leveling in Final Fantasy XI is done through killing monsters. This is the main and really only way to do it. The question is, are you going to do it alone or with other players? But killing them faster, getting more XP is kind of your overall goal the entire game. If you kill things even, match, and above fast enough, you get an experience points chain and essentially get free XP that comes out of nowhere. It's fantastic, one of the best parts of the game, learn to love it. You can check an enemy to determine how difficult they are. Too weak, not offering any XP, and then easy prey up through incredibly tough, offering increasing amounts for obviously increased difficulty. Outside of leveling, there are some quests you should probably take part in. Every starting city has different starting quests that are valuable and useful to do. It would be impossible to list them all here, but BG Wiki and FFXI Clupedia have some amazing resources for starting players and what quests are valuable and not so valuable. But seriously, they have a lot of early game spells, equipment, weapons, sometimes things that you can't even get other ways, as well as gil, which I know you'll be starved for early on. Definitely worth doing. As a note, some quests aren't available until you have a certain amount of fame tied to that region, which you earn by doing quests in that region. Most of the early ones, though, that are under level 10 don't really have a fame requirement above level 1. But overall, earning more fame as well can help for later on when you're trying to do those harder quests. Point is, keep questing. Missions early on, however, don't really offer a ton of value. They're kind of difficult to do. They offer some cool story elements. Sometimes they have some guild rewards and some other stuff, but overall, you're gonna need to be a little bit higher level and have some traveling legs behind you to get past like rank 2. So I wouldn't worry about it too much just as you're starting, but keep it in the back of your mind. The missions are more of a part of your city's storyline quests that lead up through the overall narrative of Final Fantasy XI, which is a great time, definitely do it, but don't worry about it like day 1. Also, in case you didn't know, quests and missions don't offer experience points towards leveling. That is purely killing things. Number 3, your first party. Most people end up partying in the dunes at level 10 and beyond, but let's shed some more light on that and what that's like. The dunes refer to Valkyrum dunes. If somebody shouts and they're like, hey, you want to go party in the dunes, I want you to know where that is. It's more popular than some other options because frankly, camps are a little bit easier to understand, and it's closer to 2 cities, Bastok and Sandoria, than just one, Windhurst. Windy players will have to take a boat to get there and be careful of monsters that do spawn up on deck, but otherwise, it's not really a difficult travel and hang out in the boat. Something to know though that I definitely didn't was that most players won't start actually partying until level 11. You'll see a lot of parties that start at 10, but they struggle a lot. The main reason being that white mages, the biggest early game healer, don't get cure 2 until level 11. Just cure 1 is tough for anybody to cure with, and considering that you're fighting things that are relatively harder than they would be at 11, having less options against harder enemies is just overall a recipe for danger and death. It's up to you, obviously. I've made the personal choice to party at 10 many times this year, and I've regretted it every time. In my opinion, I think you should keep soloing past that level. It'll be way faster, more consistent, and safe. In that party, you might be asked to tank, skill chain, magic burst, heal, feeble, some combination of all these things. None of it is very complicated. If you don't know what any of those things are, just ask the party. It's a social game. People love talking about this stuff. I'm sure you guys will figure it out. Everything I just listed is some of the reasons that Final Fantasy XI is so special and so fun. But you can also leave a comment below if you just want to ask here. We probably won't get an answer as fast as just asking your party. Another little note about this whole leveling period in groups. You can level past 18 with your original job if you want. There's nothing stopping you. But at 18, there's also a quest to earn your sub job. Literally another job that is half the level of your main job, which you'll also have to level up. But it is like the core fundamental aspect of how jobs work in Final Fantasy XI. It's super cool, and I highly recommend you jump on it the second it becomes available. Also, other players will start to expect you to have a sub job. You're going to get less party invites. It'll be harder for you to start parties if you don't have one. People will start questioning why. They just offer so much extra strength and flexibility. There's no reason not to have one. Go for it. Number 4, the advanced jobs. This is sticking out there a little bit of a ways at level 30, but I want you to know that it's coming and how it works. At this point, if you've been leveling the dunes, you've probably noticed other jobs than the 6 that you have starting available, and you're probably wondering where they come from. At level 30, you have access to all the advanced jobs quests, and you can do any of them, although some are more difficult than others, and many aren't soloable as a level 30 on many jobs, if that makes sense. These jobs are just different. They're not necessarily more powerful or better. They're just different jobs. Don't think that a samurai is better than a warrior because it's an advanced job that you get at level 30. It is much better. Warriors. I'm just kidding. But seriously, they are pretty sweet. It's one of my favorite aspects of the game. A lot of the stories involved in those quest lines are really cool. The jobs themselves are fantastic. And many offer fantastic sub-job opportunities for your main job, even if you really do want to stick with these starting 6. So even if you are digging warrior, for instance, you might want to check out samurai or ninja for the sub-job options that they offer. They're really awesome. Anyways, the crucial thing to know is that they're out there. They're not fundamentally better, but they are options. Number 5, explore everything. Look, this game is not trying to lead you anywhere. There's no fundamental hidden path to success, quest line leading you from here to there that you might have fallen off of or strayed from at some point. That's not how this game works. There are powerful, notorious monsters hidden in the wilds that have amazing drops that sometimes won't drop the first time, so it's worth going back and killing them again to see if you get it the second time. I'm kidding, do not do that. Definitely look up the enemy to see what they drop. Oh my gosh, can you imagine some of the more rare drop rates being like, it just doesn't drop anything, it's impossible. It drops nothing. Umashu the Torrent has never heard of the monster signal. No, but it is some of the most fun. It's just like exploring, finding some of these enemies, earning some of these rewards just by accident. Sometimes a hidden grotto that you find might be the best leveling camp that you've ever seen. It's kind of safe from some of the other randomly wandering enemies in the zone. Who knows? Maybe a long hike to a camp that you heard about is a better camp, but the reason nobody goes there is because it's more dangerous on the way to get there. But as a party, you can totally get there fine. I don't know. There's a lot of cool spots like that in Final Fantasy XI. Don't be tied down whatever spot you happen to be in or the path that you think you're supposed to go. Branch, explore. Vanadil's huge. Test everything. But guys, I hope this was helpful. I realize that in 2020, it is probably unlikely that there are very many new players that have never played Final Fantasy XI before that are looking for something like this. But I wanted it to be out there. I would love to pull more players into the game, especially some of the more classic mid-2000s style versions of it. If you'd like to see more like this, I can keep going deeper into what 11 is and things that I found helpful throughout my years of playing. Or you could, throw it a thumbs down and tell me in the comments why I suck. Join us on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring your questions, bring your thoughts about this amazing game or others. We play all sorts of stuff, but often Final Fantasy XI. I would love to see you there. Otherwise, keep on the lookout for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace. Seen them? Look at them. That was in reaction to their physical prowess and might.
I knew that was gonna happen.
So when you said one of these is a ninja,
It's a good use, guys.
was that what you meant?
I can't even. I can't even fight it.